We're back.
Yay, we're back.
We're back.
At the same place.
Late. By a couple of weeks, a month. We don't know when this is going to drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I know everyone. So we said we'd be back by August, right? But I know it's already... No lah, today is still August.
Still August.
Last day of August. But by the time you get this, it'll be September.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are here on our stage at the Evolution. We're not supposed to be here. Where were we supposed to be?
Up there.
In the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've had some backdrop drama, guys. So I know we told you in the last episode that we would be renovating, having a nice different layout.
And
well,
look.
the table is here.
Yeah.
And the arm is here.
And the chair.
And the chair, kind of, well, not exactly, the wrong chair came in the mail. Yeah, so anything that can go wrong went wrong during our changeover lah. Basically, our backdrop didn't come in the right size, and so we're waiting for China to send it over. And then they sent us the wrong chairs as well. Hi. So we can't do that. So we'll probably debut the new set in season 2. And then we'll wrap up season 1 over here on our stage. And our team is back.
Yay.
Woo! And we got someone new to introduce to you, but that will be next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So, Karis, what have you been doing during break? What shows have you been watching?
Not much.
Not much. Oh, you don't watch shows, one
Yeah,
hor.
I don't.
I'm the one hor.
Yeah.
Then what do you do?
Listen to podcasts.
Oh my god, I don't want to listen to podcasts more. I'm starting to get back into it, but I I don't want to read a book. I don't want to watch a podcast. Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watch summaries of shows. Like someone talking
You are
about
mad,
the
you
show.
know. I know, this is the funny thing about her, right, guys? She watched summaries of shows.
Yeah, because it's too long, too many episodes. So
Then what for? I might as well not watch it.
they give me the summary and the gist of the story.
This is the storyline.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been watching Ted Lasso
Oh wow.
to make me happy. Yeah, all the boys in church, I think you'll enjoy that. It's funny. And then the whole theme of it is football is life.
Oh.
Yeah, it's quite funny lah. If you want like a relaxing thing during COVID and you don't want to like be depressed, like go watch that show. It'll make you quite happy. It's on Apple TV. Yeah. Yes. So how have we been doing during break? We thought we'd update you about what's been going on with us, right? Lots of changes. Lots of nothing and also lots of changes. I think that pretty much describes everybody's life right now, right? In the second year of COVID. Yeah, so we've been having some changes in the Evolution. We decided to celebrate our kind of anniversary a few weeks ago, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
That was pretty a high moment where we kind of shared with the church about what we think church should be like moving forward, and
Our future.
Yes,
We like.
that we don't want to build religion, that we don't want to build institution, and yeah, we want to kind of build more family, team, community, and stuff. And I think that's going to be really exciting, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, but then after that, right, I tell you, I had a real low. I was like, oh. Yeah, okay, wait,
It's
no,
the same
but...
weekend then.
but you guys celebrated my birthday
Yes,
also,
yes.
which was really, really sweet and really nice, I gotta say. So, guys, I turned 39 this year.
Wow.
Holy crap. 39 is horrible, eh. It's the 1 year to 40 is the worst thing in the world. You really reevaluate your life like crazy. Yeah, so anyway, it was a real big high and I really had fun. My birthday, I really appreciate that. And usually I don't like celebrating birthday, but that was really nice what you guys did. Yeah, and then after that I was like really low because I was like, oh my god, I'm 39. I need to like change everything up. I need to do something with my life. I need to do something with the church. Yeah, so we're going into an interesting season. Life is opening back up.
Yeah.
We're going to be having so many things that are going to start rolling in church again, like to share heart, to share vision, to share culture and values, which we'll talk about in the next couple of weeks a little bit on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been... Actually, I'm quite excited. Do you feel a bit excited?
Yeah, things are opening up.
Yeah, I feel both tired and excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the changes, everything.
Yeah, I have a bit of COVID brain. Yes. Your favorite good news?
Hey, the panda.
家家很开开.
家家很开开. So
Yeah.
cute.
Have they named the baby yet?
Not that I know.
Oh my god, so the baby's nameless?
Mm,
Or does China have rights to name the baby?
no idea.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but very cute.
But that was really quite an oasis in the midst of all the terrible news that was happening those 2 weeks.
Yeah, like a good news.
Yeah, it's been so bad the past few weeks.
Mm.
Yeah, but anyway, that was pretty cute. I really think some of the best creation God ever created was bears.
Animals.
They're so cute. They're so funny. I get the teddy bear phenomenon because I look at bears and they're so cute.
Yes.
Yes. So we were supposed to launch the church. Again, those of you who haven't been listening since our first episode, right? Actually, we were supposed to be launching like this whole rebranding of our church, and we're called now the Evolution.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to do that
Last
year, February. We wanted to, and then COVID hit, and so we postponed it to our old anniversary date, which was August. And then that came and went and couldn't happen. And we said, oh, we'll do it this year.
Yes.
And then we're still here. So at first, we weren't going to celebrate our anniversary at all. But then me being me, last minute, I went, no, actually, I think it's important for us to do it. And so we slammed this thing together. I think it was like in a week or a week and a half, right? Your poor sister, because she's in charge of our service operations. And so we did a little mini thing. We revamped the stage a little bit. Service operations came out with some new graphics and layout. And then Aishu, one of our new peeps, whom you'll get to know on UCH, she did a video with Jinghui, her bestie. In like 2-3 days, they put it together to celebrate all like the stories and pictures of our journey, and it was kind of really nice and really sweet. Yes, warm and fuzzy.
Warm and fuzzy.
Very warm and fuzzy. Yeah, and then I preached a message called "The Future Starts Now." Very optimistic for the fact that we're stuck in the middle of COVID. But anyway, so that sparked the thought of us coming back with UCH with an episode where we thought we'd talk today about gratitude and remembering and how it is important to building the future. Yeah. So, Kay, tell me, what stood out for you during our anniversary celebration?
Oh, the video. The photographs.
The photographs.
Yeah, I think PC, when you were sharing the stories, or even when I was looking at the video, I think just looking how far we've came, and those photographs just reminds us, oh, we've been that young before.
That young.
We're almost so young in the video.
And skinny.
And just I think seeing everyone kind of serving make me just realize like, oh, we have actually done a lot of things together over the years.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, one of my takeaways, like having to retell the stories of our church because at the beginning of the sermon, I talked about how we came to be. And after we had that video where, wow, it was just so many photographs and videos, and it's like, wow, because sometimes when you're in all this, right, you kind of find it hard to think that you're accomplishing anything or that you have even accomplished something. But when you look at a video, which you can go check out on our The Evolution Fam's IG, wow, we've really done a lot of things now. We've done like the community service work where we reached out to kids in Geylang who needed help and needed a family. And then after that, we planted a church and grew it pretty big, like over 100 people, youth, and then we evangelized. It was so awesome. And then now we're here in Lavender, and it's just been, and then we've been doing so much justice work as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forget that we've been on so many like mission trips and not the sightseeing kind of mission trip. Like, because one of my mentors, right, wow, he really takes us into places. We've been to like Sendai, into the disaster zone. Just so many stuff. And it was nice to remember that. Yeah, and I think for myself too, before we preach that message, right, this year for some strange reason, right, I think one of the struggles for us has been not being able to push youth growth. That has been really, really tough. It's been hard to get the youth out. It's been hard to go out to evangelize. So that's been very, very difficult. But then the ironic thing is that this year I had 2 speaking invitations to go to churches to speak, and they all wanted me to talk about youth.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it was very good reminder of what we're doing here and that we have done it before and we can do it again. Yeah. So Kate, tell me, what did you take away from the anniversary?
I think PC, first thing is I just realized that, oh, wow, we were that young before. Yeah, it just brings back a lot of memories of, I think, just how many things that we've done, especially like photographs of people serving or just outing, hangouts, pictures of events, and all that just kind of bring back all the memories. Like, wow, there's a lot of things that's happened over the years.
That we've actually done quite a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you are wondering, go check out the video. It's just a really nice, simple video on our IG at the Evolution Fam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you'll see where our church started and how we began. Because really,
Yes.
there's been so much that has happened, right? Because
Yeah.
we started as a community services association, and we were reaching out to low-income kids in the Geylang area. And so every week we're running this stuff for them to just give them a family and a home,
Yeah.
feed them, give them tuition to help catch up at school. And then after that, we started the church in 2005. And then we grew the church to about 100 over people. And that was really exciting because it was really, wow, it was like packed with young people back then. And then now we've moved to Lavender and it's a new phase again where we're now becoming the Evolution, which I think is more ourselves. But it can be very easy to lose track during this season, right, of COVID and think that nothing is happening. We have accomplished so little with our community. And sometimes it really takes seeing all the pictures and the videos and forcing yourself to preach a message where you're retelling all the stories, right? To remember and to be grateful for how far we've come and that the future is still hopeful. Yeah. Any funny stories that you remember when you were watching the video?
One of it is I remember how when we moved into this place, right, we did all the painting for this premise by ourselves. So all the members, all the leaders, everybody was involved.
And that's 7,000 square feet.
Yes.
Bottom and up.
Yeah, two levels. So the funny thing is when you look across the auditorium like on a given weekend, right, you would know that everyone was here helping out because everybody's head will have a little bit of paint on it.
That couldn't come out and couldn't be washed.
Yes, cannot come out.
And this was like over many, many months, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because guys, we were renovating this Lavender premise for 2 years because we were waiting for the license from BCA for the second level. And so we renovate halfway, then we had to wait, and then we had to paint, and it was just like a nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there was another funny thing about Zihan, right? Our adult leader who's in charge of the community experience team. Yes, tell us about him.
So the thing about Zihan is that even though our premise, right, took a long time to renovate, right, meaning we still kind of waiting for the flooring and then everything else. No flooring for quite a while. But he still want to make sure that the premise is clean for everyone.
Yeah.
So he will insist that the team will have to sweep and mop the floor.
Yeah, let me stress no flooring, okay? And under our flooring, right, it's not nice, like smooth, polished, like cement. It's like raw cement. Like no matter how you scrub, right, it's still dusty. No matter how you mop, dry already, there's still dust. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that is how like excellent his service is to people. Yeah. Yeah, then I think I was at a stage where I was practicing like self-control and let all of you do your thing. And then I was like, okay, lor, if Zihan says so, do it. Yeah. But he is great lah. I mean, if anyone epitomizes serving others, it's this guy. You gotta meet him. Yeah. So for me, I think what was very great this anniversary season and very nostalgic, I think was especially the aspect about talking about youth. Yeah, because for I think the past year, I think youth has been the hardest thing to move in our church, even though that's always been who we are. I mean, the tertiary has been fine, but like the secondary school age, right, has been really hard. Because they can't come out, then we're worried about perception. We also can't go out and like make friends with people and invite them to church. We can't have big gatherings, so that I think I suspect every church is having this struggle right now lah. So if you're discouraged, it's okay, we understand. But I think one of the cool things that, I don't know, coincidence or you want to say God divinely arranged it, is I got invited to speak, which is very rare. Like two churches this year.
Wow.
And both of them specifically wanted me to speak into the youth, to encourage the young people to rise up and to teach their leaders how to raise up young people.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was really interesting because I think, you're super discouraged, but at the same time, God is asking you to step out in faith and share what you know. And then you have to pull out all the stories. So I think that was a really, really important part of the anniversary. It wasn't so much just to celebrate, but to remember and to find a space where we hope for the future again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what we want to talk about today, lah.
Yes.
We want to talk about how gratitude and remembering is so important to building the future, so important to keeping your joy, so important when you're discouraged, so important in order to build culture and to build the vision that we're looking towards.
So PC, how do we define gratitude?
Okay, so I think today we're going to talk about it in two ways, right? One is the personal aspect and one is the interpersonal aspect.
Yep.
So as far as the personal is concerned, I think gratitude is an attitude. It is a habit, a thought habit. It is a practice in life that we've got to implement of being thankful for life or for things in life and even for ourselves and the things that we have accomplished and we have done, like celebrating our own wins in life and our own qualities. Yeah, so I think that's the personal aspect, and I think that part is very important to well-being. Right, we've been following a lot of great psychologists right now. One of them is like Brene Brown, and she says also the secret to being a vulnerable and successful and happy, joyful person in life. One of the qualities of vulnerable people is that they have a practice of gratitude. A habit of gratitude in your life.
Yes.
So that's the personal aspect. But then there's also the interpersonal aspect, which is what happens in a community and in a group of friends.
Yep.
And this one is about gratitude is about having a healthy response to love and to kindness, being able to reciprocate when somebody blesses you or takes care of you and to be able to do that back to them. And so I think both things are very important, the personal and interpersonal, to us having kind of a healthy thought life, a healthy outlook to life and a healthy relational life. And I think it also ultimately lends itself well to building the future, being hopeful about the future, especially when you're in a prolonged negative space.
So PC, what are some ways that we can exercise and also be more grateful?
Yeah, so I think the most basic one, all of us know, right? Because, I mean, come on, psychology is now like massively available on Google.
Yes.
People will tell you keep a journal of gratitude or spend 3 to 5 minutes in the morning or in the evening or both, listing the things that you are thankful for in your life and in your day. I think if you're a Christian, prayer is an inbuilt kind of thing, especially if you've been taught, like, I think traditional Christian practices of prayer, right? One important aspect is thankfulness and praise, to thank God for things He's blessed you with, to be grateful for the stuff that's going well in your life despite the negative situations and circumstances. So I do find actually, right, especially in our church, I feel in the seasons where we'll be able to be in person and have regular prayer meetings. Even right now, we're bringing back pre-gathering prayer together.
Yes.
I can see the slight change that it makes because that regular prayer, that regular coming together, that regular thanking God and praising God in our prayer pointers, it makes a difference to our happiness and our joy in that given moment of time and space. So I think we have to be deliberate about it because I think it used to be unintentional, so to speak, in our church. It was such a practice and habit. And then when you lose in person, now it's like you forget that, wow, this had a huge impact on our positivity in the evolution.
So PC means every day I write down 3 to 5 things that I'm thankful about. Does it matter if, let's say, like, if it's the same thing every day?
I don't think there's a formula okay, but there's some principles. So recently I was listening to a TED Talk by Adam Grant about languishing, and one of the practices he said is about gratitude So he got these 2 guys to come up, right, in the mic, and he made one, tell me 3 things that you are grateful for in your life. And then the guy listed it, and then he was very happy about it. And then the next guy, he said, list as many things as you can that you are grateful for your life. Then the guy went, and then he got to about 20, 30, and then he's running out of things to say, and then it's getting more and more bleak. And then, of course, everybody still laughs. But his point was this, right? What they found in research is that Like gratitude needs to kind of be specific, and it needs to have its own kind of finiteness. Like it cannot be infinite, because when it's infinite, what actually happens is this, right? The more you list, and then by the time you end, you feel like, wow, I can't think of any more. It ends on a negative note.
Oh.
So you think you have not enough things to be grateful for. But the other thing that I think tends to happen is we can get very theoretical about our gratitude. I know, oh God, thank you for this awesome day. But not really mean it. We're just kind of think of
General.
something general, like thank you for creating flowers and birds, And it doesn't really have that impact. But when you
Yeah.
have something specific to say to God,
Personal.
like, yeah, personal. God, thank you that I'm making it through the day, even though it's hard. God, thank you that I've got good friends in my life. God, thank you that, yes, there are people down, but hey, we are still there for one another. Like that is very specific, and it creates a you see, even as I'm talking about it, you feel different. Yeah, so it needs to be specific and needs to be finite for it to have an effect in your life. So I think you can journal, you can pray, you can think. But it is important for it to be specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
So PC, what happens if, let's say, we lose gratitude?
Oh my God.
Then what happens?
Yeah. So I think observing my own behavior, right? The past year, I would say, because I think the problem with negativity, it's very attention grabbing. Pain is very attention grabbing. If you ever have like any physical pain, immediately your attention gravitates towards that. Yeah, so I think negativity, pain, suffering, it's just very attention grabbing, and anger also, energy sapping. Yeah, and so I think I think gratitude is super powerful, because the moment we have that service, right, we immediately all feel better. When I'm angry, and the moment I start to really specifically list, for example, let's say someone I'm angry with, the good things that they have done for me, immediately the energy is taken away from the negative and put into the positive. It is not a denial that the world is in a bad place. It's not a denial that like we're struggling, or some of us on and off struggling, but it's the choosing to focus that there is hope. Like being, what is it, that guy, Good to Great, right? And then this general,
Jim Collins.
Jim Collins, but he got the idea from this general, right, who said the people who make it are not the people who have like this toxic positivity of like everything is gonna be fine, but it's the people who acknowledge how real the situation is, but still choose to, but I'm gonna keep going, and there's hope. And I think that's what gratitude allows you to do. It allows you to sit in the negative, but still find the little silver lining to hold on to choose to let that affect your feelings versus everything else. Yeah. So I just think without gratitude, it's very hard. You become very negative. You become very fixated on the negative, and it starts to become your life. Yeah.
PC, do you think that without gratitude also, then everything we do, it becomes, how do I ask this question? We lose that motivation.
Yeah.
It becomes just a to-do rather than just a...
Yeah, for sure. Even the things that you really want to build, it becomes very dreary, lor. Yeah. Or you really actually lose sight of even the things that are of value. I think one of the things was when we were initially, like we said, we didn't want to celebrate our anniversary because there isn't really any major thing to celebrate, to kind of like turn the key and say, okay, here we go, we're officially launching. So we're like, Aya, what for? What's there to celebrate? Because we tend to, human beings think we only want to celebrate the big things, the explosive things, the things that are like the mountaintop experiences. But then as I got closer, I started to realize, wow, I'm too negative and I'm feeling very low. And then when I started to count all the things that have been happening, and then because I was preaching at one of the churches just 2 weeks, 1 week earlier, then I went, oh wait, I immediately feel better, and I realized, no, we got to celebrate the small wins, to remember that we are worthy and we have something to offer the world, and that God has called us, and there is something to be done. Yeah, so I think it's just like there's something powerful about the practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So PC, if let's say somebody is in this situation where they feel a lack of drive, they feel everything they're doing is they're obligated to do it, they are reluctant to do something, does that mean it's a sure sign like they are losing gratitude? They need to be more grateful.
Well, I think that one is a pretty nuanced and
Mm.
layered situation, because I think when we're talking about that, sometimes you have to ask yourself, right? Again, you see, that's why being real with your environment is very important. I think if an environment is bad and
Yeah.
it's abusive or it's traumatic or it's like even this situation with COVID, you need to acknowledge that that is there. You can't deny it. And what you want to do then is to try and create an environment where a person can thrive. And I think that's very important. Like I don't think it's being toxic about your positivity where it's like, oh no, nothing is wrong, everything is fine, like COVID is not getting me down at all, like we're perfect, like don't tell me negative things, like it doesn't work, or because it's kind of like that's denial, not gratitude. Okay. But I do think there's a part where you see gratitude is about worthiness also. It's that ability to appreciate yourself and say that there are good things about me and I am worthy. And I think when there's a lack of gratitude for yourself, you will start to kind of be insecure. And then everything else around you, even the good things that you want to aspire to, becomes another expectation to live up to, that you feel you fall short or you're not good enough. Yeah, and I'm definitely guilty of that a lot of times. That is my struggle too. Like, it may be something I want, but then I feel like, oh, it's so tough, I cannot make it, I'm not enough. And I think that's because I'm lacking in gratitude and appreciation for myself and what I've done and what I've accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, PC, the interesting thing is I was researching the definition for gratitude, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the opposite of gratitude is they have two
Yeah.
words for it. One
Yeah.
is ungratefulness, of course, means the direct opposite of gratitude, but the other one is condemnation.
Interesting, oh.
Yeah, so I thought, wow, that's
I really
interesting.
thought it was very interesting when you brought that up. Yeah. Because I think there is that two facets, the personal and the interpersonal. If you're constantly self-condemning, then I don't, it's very hard for you to feel good about the future. It's very hard for you to be your best self, because even the things that are good about you, you feel they're not enough, or you forget that they're there. Yeah, so I think that's why I think one of the things it was good for me this year, and maybe it's God's grace at work, where when I go to these places, you know, in every other arena, I don't feel super successful. When I go to these places, when they tell me to tell the stories, I'm reminded that, oh no, we are good at doing young people. We are good at connecting with this generation. We are good at engaging with culture. And we have something to offer. And you know it because of the response of the people, whether it's the adults in the room or the youth who go, that makes sense to me and that ignites me in some way. And then you go, oh no, I am gifted for this. And you remember in that moment. But the trick is then when you don't have those external factors to like to be able to do it yourself,
Yeah,
which is
yes.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah. PC, just curious. So we have the personal factor and the interpersonal, but both are they connected? Meaning gratitude to self and gratitude to others.
Like, I think it should be in our lives synonymous that we have both. But I do think the struggle is sometimes it can be segmented. Like, I think for a lot of us, we might find it easier to be grateful to other people than grateful for ourselves. Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, especially I think if you've got low self-esteem, right, that tends to be the problem lah. You'll be super grateful, super willing to be loyal, to give, but then you don't take care of yourself. But I don't think the ending of that is very good, because at the end of the day, your mental health suffers, because there isn't a balanced gratitude for self and gratitude for others at the same time. Yeah. Okay, so I give you an example. Singaporeans, right? I think Asians, we have a really bad culture when it comes to filial piety. Our filial piety is a very obligated piety. So let me clarify, right? All of us that are good sons and daughters, kids, we are grateful to our parents, and so we want to give back to them and take care of them in their old age.
Yep.
That is great, isn't it?
Yep.
But I think what muddles it up is this problem with when parents, for example, go, I raised my child and now you are obligated to take care of me. It takes away reciprocity and it turns it into obligation. And that's not healthy. That even if the kid is a loyal kid and a filial kid, right, it just messes the whole thing up and it doesn't feel good. But when two parties are both grateful for themselves, means they got a healthy self-esteem where they are receiving of love, not just taking it, but receiving it, but also giving it. That's the relationships in your life, you think about it, that really flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Fizi, I have a question, which is, do we need to feel grateful to be grateful?
Wow, I think there's so many ways I can go with this. I think ideally
Yes.
gratitude should create feelings of positivity. It needs to be genuine. It needs to be like something you feel from your gut towards somebody.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't have that, I just go, it's a very unhealthy way because then you become a taker versus a receiver of love. Because I think receiving love and really enjoying it, it should, if you're a normal good human being, cause you to have nice feelings, right? And then you give back, right? Like love begets love,
Yeah.
That's my take, So I think you have to be a sociopath not to feel something back when people give you. However, I do think, you see, back to the worthiness thing, right? If you don't appreciate yourself, you're going to feel like you're taking and you're not just really being and enjoying the love from somebody because it comes attached with, I feel bad. I feel bad that you're loving me. I feel bad that you're being kind to me. You see what I mean? And it will create reciprocity for someone like that. They will give back. But it still comes attached with not the fullness of what gratitude should feel like, the reciprocity factor. Like something is taken away from the joy of receiving love and giving love. I think. Yeah. So I think it's complicated. But I do feel also gratitude is a matter of choosing character and commitment. I mean, even if I love somebody very much, right, let's be honest, there are days where I'm tired and I don't feel like giving love. I don't feel like sitting there and listening to somebody. It's true, right? Like we have days where gratitude is a practice versus a naturally occurring attitude.
Yes.
It's a verb. Well, that's why I say I don't think we should refer to people in terms of qualities, in terms of nouns anymore. Because it's not a consistent state of being. It's a thing that we just keep trying to do well and hopefully it becomes a habit and a muscle. Yeah, but you see, there's the good news. I think gratitude as an attitude, a feeling, an action is also a muscle. The more you do it, the more you get used to doing it. Yeah, but you know, COVID has interrupted that
Yeah.
which is why we've forgotten like something that has become muscle memory is now not being used. And I think that's why some of us are languishing and feeling a little bit low. Because there's nothing, no rhythm to cause us to do that. No gathering regularly to pray together. No interpersonal. I was saying this to you earlier. I think this is a good one. I have realized the people the good people that I love, that I'm interacting with on a regular basis, those people I have the best relationship with right now. I'm most stable because we're constantly giving to one another. We're texting, we're talking. And so trust and good feelings is built up because of the reciprocity. But the people that I'm less interacting with, right, more doubts come into your mind. You forget what they've done in your life sometimes because maybe you don't see them face to face as often. We're not in each other's life as regularly. So there is nothing to give and take. There's nothing to receive and to reciprocate. And so you have those doubts more. So what I found for myself, even with our team, right, sometimes when I get angry over something again, right, all your energy is concentrated on that one negative thing that you're frustrated with.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, if you don't go back and be self-aware and start to list the things and count the things that they have done and the good they have invested in your life, you'll forget. And all you think about is the negative stuff. And so you must be deliberate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So PC, moving on to oh, sorry, that was a
This is
problem.
our favorite phrase, moving on. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about okay, I can go, right? So talking about gratitude, I think remembering is like very important to help us to kind of stay in that perspective of being grateful. We have to have things that we are grateful about, things that we remember about.
Yes.
So PC, what can we do to like remember better?
Wow, I think remembering just takes effort. like how I said just now, you've got to just be self-aware. You got to train yourself to be self-aware. You got to train yourself to write down and list things when you
Yeah.
are forgetful.
Yes.
But I do think, again, like what I said, COVID is making us forgetful. I mean, everybody can relate to this right now. It's depressing because 2 years have become one. We can't even remember which month is which day and which year. Like, it's hilarious. And I can repeat that a couple of times about the same thing, and I still
Yeah.
cannot recall. So I think there's two reasons for that. One is because we're in a standstill. There's no rhythms and structures and benchmarks and events to mark our transitions of life.
Yeah.
Our transitions in the year. And then secondly, we're under stress. We're under this prolonged stressful period, and that affects memory in our brain. And so recall is harder. So if recall is harder, you can imagine then what kind of damage that does to remembering, what damage that does to storytelling, what damage that does to gratitude.
Yeah.
You know, not deliberately, but you just can't remember. You know, I mean, have you ever been a friend lately, right? And then you cannot remember what you wanted to tell them. Something might happen to you yesterday. And then you come here, oh yeah, this happened. And then you're like, COVID brain, they call it right now. And
Yeah.
not from getting the sickness, but being in this pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Pastor, but does that mean that when it comes to remembering, are we remembering rightly? Are we remembering wrongly?
Yeah. Okay. So, I was listening to this podcast the other day, Hidden Brain. It's a really good podcast, but I would say it's a little bit slow, brainy and slow. Some episodes are going very interesting, but brainy and slow. So there was one about revisionist history and memory. This scientist was being interviewed who specializes in this. And so what she said is actually our brain is designed to always edit our history, edit how we remember. You know, our brain is way more fragile when it comes to memory than we think. We like to think that we have perfect recall, but actually what we are recalling is a certain emotion, a certain perspective, a certain point of view. And then over the years, as we don't rehearse that memory, we lose some of it. And then when we recall it, it's added to other memories that we have. So sometimes we conflate our memories. Because the brain will prune information that's not used. So it's kind of like, you know, when you prune your phone, right? Then it can be, I don't know, you've got all your photos on a certain list chronologically.
Yeah.
Then you take out certain weeks. And then you join together, and then you start to connect the previous photo to the next photo, but actually they're on different days. So that's what happens in our brain. We edit, and we also deliberately edit for our own kind of ego, I guess, and well-being, our perspective on something. And that is actually an important part. So Brené Brown has this in her book where she talks about vulnerable people actually have a great narrative about their life. So we're not talking here about manipulative propaganda history, revisionist history, gaslighting. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about people who have looked at what they've been through, even if it's hard. Like they've chosen to rehearse the positive, and also they acknowledge the things that are hard, but how they have overcome. And that is actually one of the secrets to joy and satisfaction. This feeling that whatever you've been through has been for a higher purpose, for a lesson to be learned. So healthy people do that. But I think the other thing that is very interesting about what this scientist said was when two people get together or when a person retells the story, it always changes a little bit. And in a relationship, whoever's the dominant voice, right, will tend to the less dominant person will take on that person's perspective and start to edit their own memory of that history. Yeah. So it's not good or bad. I think the point she was making is that we need to train people to be self-aware so that we don't become manipulative with our memories and our remembering, and we don't become disconnecting with it versus using it for our benefit. Yeah.
So basically, even though our brain edits the stories, right, the memories, but we should still still tell stories. We should still recall. We should still reflect.
So that's why I think the basic thing is you want to remember through a lens of gratitude, because that allows you to both highlight the positive. Well, the great the Hebrew word in the Bible for the word testimony, which we love. It actually means to tell the story so that it can be done again. so there's that part of you want to remember gratitude so that you can take the positive stuff and the great things that we've done over the years in our church and have it repeat in the future. But then there's also the part where it is important to take the hard things that we've been through, the mistakes that we've made, and to tell the truth about it, but to also repurpose it and go, nothing is wasted. All things work for the good of those who love God. We made mistakes here, but we learned, and this turned us into the church we are today. You know, we've struggled in these areas, but we learn lessons that we can take forward into the future. And whenever you tell those stories, you empower people, you empower us who've been here for a very long time to keep going and to keep doing it again. And you empower the new people coming in to stand on your shoulders and do it better. Yeah.
So busy meaning be intentional, right? With
Yes.
our stories, with what we are grateful about.
Yeah.
So that we don't just kind of live life in just pass through the motion.
Yeah, to pass.
But
yeah.
okay, is that a better way to say
Yeah.
that? But pass through.
It's really quite funny.
It is quite funny.
Yeah,
like,
so that life doesn't just pass us
yes,
by.
yes. We don't go through the motions. Sorry.
Yes, and life passes you by.
Yeah, but yes. But we kind of be intentional to create memories and moments that to remember.
Yeah, and I think we need to do it regularly. And I was telling you today, I feel that is one of the weaknesses of our church, to be very real. And I think that has to do with, I don't know lah, our leadership team is a bit paiseh. We're a little bit shy, reticent to talk about ourselves, reticent to tell our story.
Too humble.
Too humble, yeah, I would say too humble in the wrong ways. Yeah, I'm not saying that we're not ego or like big-headed in other ways, but I do think we don't like repeating ourselves. We feel paiseh to repeat. We don't want to waste airtime, other people's time. Yeah, but the more I'm interacting lately with other pastors and leaders whom I respect, I realize that they are humble, but they're also willing to tell stories and to let themselves be seen. So I think this is the other thing about remembering and gratitude, right? It is the act of letting yourself be seen. For people to know you and to connect with you. For the peeps that are coming in right now, the new peeps that we love you very much, for you to connect with us and to know us. Yeah. So I think that's why also this season, again, right, it's suddenly a reminder because now we are suddenly running ministry training.
Yes.
We're suddenly going to, right on the heels of that, we're going to do church introduction class in gathering, not even as a separate class. Because our members need to remember and our new peeps need to hear the stories and be inspired and to stand on our shoulders and build the future.
Yeah. So PC, should we be deliberate in creating shared memories? I think I'm asking that because I feel shared memories have power in, I don't know, it evokes a stronger emotions and it's
a feeling.
Yeah. It's on a much larger scale than just on a personal level. And it's more meaningful.
I mean, why do you think dictators have rallies where they mobilize people and they tell stories and propaganda? Because it is a recognition, it is a powerful thing, right? Shared memory. I think personal memory has its place, but there's something heightened about coming together and engaging. So yeah, I do think we need to deliberately create shared memories. I think it's also actually a natural instinct, right? I mean, why do families, right, that are happy once they have kids, they want to take photographs and go to a certain place? It's actually an unconscious instinct to create shared memory and connection and history and a feeling of belonging, that you fit somewhere, that you have a shared journey with somebody. So I do think it is very important. I think, especially for spiritual community, I think it's very important to not fall back into just ritual. That's why we do have a saying in our church, right, that if you want to be family and team with us, you've got to be willing to waste time with us. It's not, relationship is not just utilitarian. Yes, we need to be efficient, and the older we get, we have less patience and we have more responsibilities, but there's still a part we need to take the time to waste time together, whether it's to have a supper, whether it's to, I don't know, like during COVID, one of the funny things the staff used to do is to on Wednesdays, right? Like they will deliberately play hawker wars in the middle of the staff day, just to like create, like, I guess, rebellious memories. We're not working, we're playing games. or even yeah, so I do think it's very important. I think the only thing you got to be careful is that you don't step into the propaganda where you're deliberately revisionisting history and leaving out important parts that people need to know in a negative way.
In a self-interested
Yeah,
way.
self-interested way. I think that's one of the things I do love about our Bible. That I mean, some people get afraid because they see it as a conflict, right? That there is violence and bad behavior in the Bible. But I actually think that is actually a healthy way to document and be real with history, that there's problems with human beings and the mistakes that we make. But that, and I think that's the overarching arch of the Bible, that God redeems those mistakes and God restores people and human beings make a turn for the better.
Yeah.
And as human history goes, we get better. We do better. And I think that's the way we should document history in the church. Not just the highlights or the big celebrations, but the small wins and the small overcoming and the stories of, I don't know, big lessons and mistakes that we made, but it made us into better people.
Yeah.
And I think that brings you to a very honest and vulnerable and connected state. And I think that's what, I don't know, that's what I'm craving. And I think that's what people in our generation are craving now, like a genuine engagement and not just a idealistic pretend story and person on a
Yes.
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all for episode 1.
But we have some announcements.
Oh, yes. So we will be dropping new episode every week, every Tuesday, starting from 7th of September at 9 a.m.
Yes.
on Spotify, on our YouTube, and also on Apple Podcasts.
Nobody listens to Apple Podcasts anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the last thing.
But we go shout out the two.
Oh, yes. We are going to do a shout out to Juhao and Clement. Woo! So Clement's pretty straightforward because he's our number 1 fan of UCH. He's already asking me what episodes are we doing already before we even started recording.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got presents for you guys.
Oh,
soon.
for both of them.
It's taking a while to get here. China again. But I don't want to be very sweeping. Some manufacturers in China. A bit faster. Yes, but Juhao, tell them about Juhao.
Juhao did a really sweet thing, which is he couldn't afford the merch.
The fundraising.
Yeah, but he still was a part of the fundraising because he gave a
$20.
Yes.
Yeah, Juhao, we love you. Thank you very
Aww.
much. And yeah, so we got a present for the two of you.
Surprise.
Will come in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so we'll see you
in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.